The chase begins as something thrilling, almost noble. You convince yourself that your effort means something that's showing up. Staying consistent, being different from the rest will eventually unlock her heart. But what you don't realize is that the chase is feeding an illusion, not a connection. It's not really about her anymore, it's about the identity you've tied to winning her. You've placed your value on whether or not she sees it, and that's where the damage begins. You start bending, shifting, overcompensating, all to keep the hope alive. But brother, that hope isn't rooted in truth. It's rooted in the lie that says love must be earned through sacrifice. That if you suffer long enough, you'll be rewarded. But love, real love, isn't a reward for pain. It's not the result of persistence. If she truly wanted you, she'd meet you where you stand. She wouldn't keep you dangling, guessing, analyzing every word and silence. The problem isn't her, it's the belief you carry that says you're only worthy if you prove it. That mindset will drain your life force. It'll make you believe that rejection is just another challenge to conquer. But chasing someone who isn't choosing you is not perseverance, it's self-abandonment. It's slowly trading your peace for illusions. And every day you stay locked in that loop, the more you drift from your center. You don't notice it right away. It creeps in through overthinking, through anxious texts, through restless nights. You stop feeling like yourself. Because you're no longer acting from grounded confidence, you're reacting to absence. You don't need to chase anyone to be worthy. You were born worthy. And the moment you stop running toward someone who's standing still, you start returning to the man you were before you gave your power away. You begin to mistake emotional chaos for depth. You start to believe that confusion means there's something real beneath the surface. You analyze her mixed signals like they're clues in a puzzle, hoping the right interpretation will unlock her affection. You reread messages, obsess over timing, wonder if you said too much or too little. You wait by the phone, convincing yourself she just needs space, just needs time. But time isn't the cure, here clarity is. And clarity says this: if she wanted to talk to you, she would. If she wanted you in her life, you wouldn't be chasing her shadow. You see, waiting becomes a drug. You tell yourself you're being patient, but you're not to her being passive. You're handing over your power, hoping she does something with it. And each time you justify her silence or minimize your own needs to stay close, you move further away from your masculine center. You become a man who waits for a woman's indecision to turn into certainty. That's not strength. That's hesitation disguised as devotion. And what it really reveals is your fear of letting go. You'd rather hold on to false hope than face the sting of truth. But there's freedom on the other side of truth, freedom from the cycle of overthinking, of proving, of waiting. You were not meant to live your life on pause. You were not built to orbit someone who can't decide whether you're enough. That constant uncertainty you feel, that's not love. That's you betraying your own instinct. You know she's not choosing you, but you keep choosing her. Not because you don't see it, but because admitting it would mean it's over. But here's the truth, it's already over. You just haven't walked away yet. And the moment you do, everything begins to change. When you chase her, you strip away the very thing that creates attraction: your mystery, your autonomy, your edge. She stops being curious because she already knows exactly where you stand. You've made it obvious. Every message, every double text, every effort to prove your worth only reinforces that she holds the power, and you're just hoping to be chosen. But women don't crave certainty from a man they haven't emotionally invested in. They crave polarity. They crave a man who leads, who holds his ground, who isn't moved by indecision. And when you abandon that posture to please her, you signal weakness, not because you're emotional, but because you've allowed her actions or lack of them to control your behavior. She doesn't need to wonder about you because you've made yourself predictable. And in the world of attraction, predictability is death. You become the safety net she never asked for, the emotional backup plan she never has to prioritize. And while you might think persistence shows strength, what it really communicates is a lack of self. She knows you're waiting, she knows you'll stay. So there's no urgency, no depth, no respect. She may still talk to you, entertain your presence, even flirt here and there, but it's not connection. It's convenience. And as long as you keep showing up without being invited, you teach her that your standards are flexible, your boundaries are optional, and your worth is negotiable. She doesn't consciously plan to test you, but she will. Because that's how feminine energy functions. It responds to masculine leadership. And if you're not leading, you're following her moods, her patterns, her inconsistency. You think you're being devoted. But what you're really doing is showing her that she doesn't need to rise because you'll keep lowering yourself to meet her where she's stuck. Real masculinity isn't loud. It doesn't explain itself. It doesn't chase. It moves with quiet certainty, driven by purpose, not validation. But when you're wrapped up in chasing her, you abandon all of that. Your decisions start revolving around how she might react. You post what you hope she see, dress in ways that might impress her, speak in tones meant to please her rather than speak your truth. And slowly, you stop being a man and start becoming a reflection of her preferences. You give up your authority to maintain her attention. But attraction isn't built on compromise, it's built on polarity. When you bend, when you fold, when you trade your instincts for approval, you don't come across as loyal, you come across as lost. And that's when she starts testing you even more. Because your chase tells her that her approval is your reward, that your entire sense of self hinges on whether she accepts you or not. And if she senses that, she doesn't feel safe, feels superior. A woman doesn't respect a man who walks on eggshells. She doesn't feel drawn to a man who betrays himself to keep her happy. She may keep you around, yes, but out of convenience, not desire. She knows you're dependable, available, easy to predict. But none of that inspires attraction, it dulls. True attraction comes from presence, direction, and a life rooted in discipline. You don't need to prove your worth through endless effort. You prove it by standing firm when she's uncertain, by walking away when your peace is compromised, by valuing yourself enough to know that your energy isn't a tool to be used, it's a gift to be earned. The man who understands that never chases. He creates gravity and lets everything meant for him come willingly. You keep telling yourself, this connection is special, that she's just confused, not ready, afraid of how real it feels, but deep down, you know better. You're not in love with the woman in front of you, you're in love with the version of her you created in your head. You're clinging to moments, not patterns. That one night when she opened up, that weekend she gave you attention, that time she said she missed you. But those are fragments, not consistency. And in between those fragments is a whole lot of silence, distance, and avoidance. That's not love, that's a highlight reel. You're holding on to a fantasy because letting go means facing the emptiness you've ignored. But no matter how hard you chase, time won't turn her hesitation into certainty. Time only reveals truth. And the truth is, if she wanted to be there, she would be. If she valued your presence, you wouldn't have to earn it every day. You think walking away is giving up, but in reality, it's remembering who the hell you are. You're not an option. You're not a placeholder. You were built to lead, to create, to move with purpose. And when you stop chasing women who don't choose you, you reclaim everything they distracted you from: your peace, your power, your path. You begin to show up differently, not needing approval, not performing, just existing as a man who knows his value. That energy is magnetic. That stillness speaks louder than any pursuit. You don't need to flex. You don't need to explain. You just walk in alignment with who you are, and the right people feel it. Let today be the day you stop chasing and start choosing. Choosing you, your standards, your future. Because love isn't found in the chase. It's found in the man who doesn't need to.